During a peaceful morning jog, Harper noticed an unusual shape moving in the river. Curiosity piqued, she approached the water's edge, expecting perhaps a stray animal in need of help. As she got closer, the outline of the creature became clearer, but it was unlike anything she had ever seen. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. With every step closer, her initial curiosity turned into a mix of fascination and fear. As she finally stood at the riverbank, Harper's face turned pale and her breath caught in her throat. "Eek!" she exclaimed when she finally got a better look at the creature in the water. "What the heck is that thing?" she asked herself, and she jumped away from the water, wanting to keep her distance. Once she felt that she was far enough from the river, she grabbed her phone and opened the camera, hoping to capture that strange thing. Harper snapped a few pictures and put her phone away, not wanting to risk it falling into the water. She stood there for a while, and she did not even dare to move as she kept her eyes on that strange creature. It seemed to be staring right back at her, and it was terrifying. Harper had no idea what that thing was, and she had never seen anything like it before. All of a sudden, the creature started making weird noises. It was a wailing noise, and Harper wondered what it meant. It could be an attempt to scare her away, she thought, but it could also very well mean that whatever it was in pain. She tried to get a better look at it, but before she could even find the answer, it disappeared. Harper looked around for a while, her eyes skimming over the surface of the water, looking for that animal. Where had it gone? It couldn't have just disappeared, but Harper just couldn't see it anymore. She walked around the river shore, staring into the depths, but she only saw darkness. The river seemed empty, but then she suddenly saw a pair of eyes staring right at her. The sight startled Harper, and she almost lost her footing and fell into the water. Luckily, she managed to regain her balance, but when she looked into the river again, the eyes were gone. Had she really seen them, or had she just imagined it? She couldn't be sure. However, she was certain of one thing. She wanted to go home. She had come to this river for a picnic by herself, and she had quite enjoyed the day, but now she was feeling quite uneasy. What if that creature suddenly came crawling onto the land? She had no idea what it was, and therefore she had no idea whether it was dangerous or not. She decided that it was better to be safe and just head home. Later that evening, Harper sat on the couch, pondering about what had happened at the river that day. She just couldn't put that strange creature out of her head, and she kept seeing those creepy eyes looking at her from the depths of the river. Then she remembered that she had taken some pictures, and she grabbed her phone to have another look at them. She was relieved to see that the photos had turned out well. Although it was still a mystery what this creature actually was, it was clearly visible in the pictures. Harper tried looking it up online, hoping to find some more information, but she found nothing useful. Finally, she thought of the perfect idea to find an answer to her questions. Harper uploaded one of the photos she had taken onto a forum, asking if anyone knew what it was. It was pretty late already, and she was feeling tired, so she went to bed immediately afterward. She didn't really expect to receive any comments on her post anyway, but she thought it couldn't hurt to try. The following day, she woke up early and made a cup of coffee first thing in the morning. She spent the day cleaning and doing various chores around the house, so she didn't even check her phone once. It was only when she took a lunch break that she decided to have a look at the forum, and she was greeted by an unexpected sight. Harper found her post had exploded overnight, flooded with hundreds of comments. It sparked a huge discussion that sprawled across theories and wild guesses. She scrolled through, surprised by the fervour her strange river encounter had ignited among the forum's members. Everyone seemed eager to put their 2 cents in, turning her quiet inquiry into a hot topic of debate. The guesses about the creature ranged wildly from a lost seal to a deep-sea monster that somehow ended up in the river. Harper chuckled at some of the more outlandish theories, like an alien pet accidentally left on Earth. Each guess was more bizarre than the last, showing just how captivated people were by the mystery she had shared. Among the sea of speculation, 2 comments stood out to Harper. One was a confirmation of a similar sighting, making her heart race with both excitement and fear. The other was a vague threat, warning her to be careful about what she had stumbled upon. The stark contrast between these two caught her full attention, pushing her to dive deeper. The sighting confirmation came from a user named Jim. He claimed to have seen the same creature a few weeks back, near the same area. Jim's detailed account added a layer of credibility to Harper's encounter, making her realize she wasn't the only one who had come face to face with this enigma. It felt reassuring and alarming at the same time. The threatening comment was vague but unsettling. It hinted that Harper should tread carefully, suggesting there were things at play she didn't understand. The anonymity of the internet made it hard to judge the seriousness of the threat, but it was enough to send a chill down her spine. Despite the warning, Harper's curiosity only grew, pushing her to seek more answers. Harper took a closer look at Jim's profile, digging through his posts and comments to gauge his credibility. Everything seemed legitimate, with years of active participation in various forums, including many on local wildlife. Deciding he was genuine, Harper felt a spark of hope. She composed a message to him, seeking to learn more about his encounter with the mysterious creature. She typed out a message to Jim, introducing herself and explaining her recent sighting. Harper asked if he could share more details about his own experience. Was it the same creature? Did he feel threatened? She hit send, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and excitement. Now, all she could do was wait and hope for a response. The profile behind the threatening comment was a dead end. No posts, no comments, nothing that could give Harper a clue about who it was or why they'd warned her. It was as if the account existed solely to intimidate her. This anonymity added an eerie layer to her quest for answers, making the waters even murkier. After some thought, Harper decided to block the anonymous user. Her curiosity about the river creature was strong, but she knew better than to ignore a warning, vague as it might be. Safety was her priority. With a few clicks, she removed the possibility of any further communication from the anonymous account, a small but significant step to protect herself. Harper's message to Jim was more than just an inquiry. It was a step towards unraveling a mystery that had captivated her since the sighting. She couldn't help but wonder about the creature's origins and whether it posed any danger. As she waited for Jim's reply, Harper felt like she was on the cusp of a discovery, eager to learn more but aware of the potential risks. Jim replied quickly, sharing details of his own eerie encounter by the river. Like Harper, he'd seen something unexplainable, stirring a mutual curiosity between them. They exchanged observations, quickly agreeing that what they'd seen was neither a typical river creature like a seal, nor anything as simple as a lost squid. The mystery deepened, fueling their resolve to investigate together. After some discussion, they decided to meet and try to uncover more about the mysterious creature. Both knew it would be a long shot, but the excitement of the unknown drove them. Preparing for their meeting, Harper packed her backpack with essentials, unsure of how long they'd be out. Flashlights, extra batteries, and a first aid kit made the list, ready for whatever the night might bring. As Harper packed, she felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. She made sure to include a camera and binoculars, hoping they might capture evidence of the creature. Snacks and water bottles filled the remaining space, prepared for a potentially long stakeout. Each item she packed was a step closer to the adventure ahead, her mind racing with the possibilities of what they might discover. The rendezvous was set for dusk at the river, where their shared quest for answers would officially begin. Harper arrived early, the weight of her backpack a constant reminder of the night's uncertainties. She scanned the quiet, flowing water, wondering if the creature would make another appearance. As the sun dipped below the horizon, she saw Jim approaching, marking the start of their adventurous night together. Despite the ominous messages, Harper and Jim decided not to back down. They shared a look of determination, silently agreeing that fear wouldn't dictate their actions. Their curiosity about the creature and the mystery surrounding it was too strong. They equipped themselves with flashlights, gearing up to face whatever lay ahead, their spirit of adventure overshadowing any apprehension. At the riverbank, under the fading light, Harper and Jim examined the water's surface, searching for any sign of the creature. The river, however, was calm, revealing nothing out of the ordinary. They moved slowly along the edge, eyes peeled for any movement or irregularity. Despite their efforts, the river remained silent, holding its secrets close under the cover of dusk. Deciding to follow the river upstream, they ventured into the adjacent forest. The trees stood tall and dense, their branches weaving a dark canopy above. The sounds of the forest at night were unnerving yet thrilling. Each step took them deeper into the unknown, the quiet of the woods, a stark contrast to the bubbling of the river beside them. It was an unsettling yet compelling path they chose. As they progressed, an irrational sensation of being watched crept over them. Every rustle and snap of twigs heightened their alertness. They exchanged uneasy glances, trying to dismiss the feeling, but it lingered, making their journey through the forest even more tense. Despite knowing it was likely just their imagination, fueled by the night and their anxiousness, they couldn't shake the eerie sensation of unseen eyes following their every move. The deeper into the forest they went, the more the silence seemed to amplify their anticipation. Harper and Jim moved with heightened caution, aware of how sound travelled in the quiet. Each step was deliberate, avoiding twigs and leaves that might betray their presence. The dense foliage seemed to absorb their every sound, making the atmosphere even more tense and expectant. They kept a vigilant watch over the river's surface as they moved, hoping for any sign of the creature. But the water remained calm, its secrets well hidden beneath the moonlit ripples. Despite their eagerness and the time spent scanning the banks and the water, their search remained unrewarded. The creature was elusive, leaving no trace of its presence or passage. Suddenly, the outline of a building near the river came into view, unexpected in the otherwise untouched landscape. Its silhouette against the night sky piqued their curiosity further. Harper and Jim exchanged a glance, their weariness momentarily forgotten. The existence of a structure in such a remote location suggested there was more to this area than they had initially thought. With a mix of caution and determination, they approached the mysterious building. It stood silent, windows dark, adding to the night's mysteries. Harper felt a pull of curiosity, urging her closer, while Jim checked the surroundings. They moved slowly, alert to any sounds or movement, their focus narrowed to uncovering what the building might hold or hide. Their initial attempt to enter was thwarted by a locked door. Harper jiggled the handle, but it wouldn't budge, hinting at secrets hidden within. The door's refusal to open only deepened the mystery, suggesting that someone or something wanted to keep prying eyes away. They stepped back, assessing the situation, wondering how they could uncover what lay behind the closed door without drawing unwanted attention. Undeterred by the locked door, Harper and Jim didn't give up. Their determination led them to circle the building, searching for another way in. The moonlight guided their steps as they checked every possible entrance, their persistence a testament to their resolve. It was clear they were not going to let a simple obstacle prevent them from uncovering the secrets that lay within. Circumventing the building's defences, Harper spotted an accessible window. It was slightly ajar, as if waiting for them. She beckoned Jim, who quickly came over to help pry it open further. With a push and a pull, they managed to widen the gap enough to climb through. This window, overlooked and forgotten, became their portal into the unknown. Climbing through the window felt like stepping into a forbidden world laden with secrets. Harper and Jim landed softly inside, their eyes adjusting to the darkness. The air was thick with dust and mystery, each breath a silent agreement to the gravity of their intrusion. They were trespassers, but the lure of the unknown propelled them forward into the heart of the building. They found themselves in what appeared to be an office, the eerie silence within amplifying their sense of intrusion. Papers lay scattered on the desk, and a layer of dust covered everything, suggesting abandonment. Harper and Jim moved cautiously, the quiet so profound that even their whispers seemed too loud. The office, once bustling with activity, now held an air of desolation and forgotten stories. Driven by a mix of curiosity and apprehension, Harper and Jim moved deeper into the building. Each corridor seemed to whisper secrets, the shadows playing tricks on their eyes. The further they went, the more the building seemed to hold back, as if it was aware of their presence and unwilling to easily divulge its secrets. Yet, the mystery only urged them on, deeper into the labyrinth of the unknown. Harper's steps faltered with reluctance, each shadow and unknown noise making her question their path. However, Jim's eagerness seemed boundless, his excitement palpable in the dimly lit hallway. He gently urged Harper forward, his determination acting as a beacon of confidence. Together, they navigated the corridors, with Harper's caution tempered by Jim's unwavering curiosity and enthusiasm. The hallway was lined with doors, each one a guardian of its own secrets, firmly locked against their curiosity. They moved from one door to the next, testing each in turn, only to be met with resistance. Finally, one door gave way under Jim's persistent efforts. It creaked open, inviting them into its concealed world, a silent acknowledgement of their persistence. The room beyond the unlocked door halted Harper and Jim in their tracks. It wasn't what they had expected to find, deviating starkly from the abandoned office spaces they had traversed so far. The surprise of the room's contents washed over them, a mix of disbelief and intrigue painting their faces as they took in the sight before them, each detail adding layers to the mystery. This unexpected turn in their exploration deepened the mystery, momentarily steering them away from their pursuit of the creature. The lab, with its silent promise of hidden knowledge, presented a new puzzle. Harper and Jim, though initially focused on the creature, now found themselves ensnared by the questions the lab posed. It was a deviation from their path, yet one they felt compelled to follow, driven by the human desire to uncover the unknown. The laboratory they found was crammed with scientific paraphernalia, microscopes, beakers, and complex machines. Each piece hinted at serious research being conducted, far beyond any amateur study. Harper and Jim navigated through the clutter, the array of equipment painting a picture of a lab dedicated to studying the unknown, its purpose slowly dawning on them as they moved further inside. Peering through a glass window built into one of the lab's doors, Harper and Jim confronted the reality of their quest. The room beyond the glass was illuminated, revealing more about the nature of the lab's work. Their breath fogged up the glass as they watched, transfixed by the scene before them, their quest suddenly taking on a new, tangible form. Among the lab's specimens, they recognized the creature from the river, now still and observable in a controlled environment. It was accompanied by others, each distinct yet seemingly part of a related study. The creatures, once free in the river, were now subjects of fascination under the lab's bright lights. Harper and Jim exchanged glances, realizing the extent of their discovery. Seeing the creature in such a setting was shocking, but also enlightening. The controlled environment of the lab provided a stark contrast to the wild, mysterious aura the creature had in the river. This juxtaposition sparked a flurry of questions in Harper and Jim's minds about the purpose of these studies and the origin of the creatures they were now closely observing. This discovery was a pivotal moment, connecting the dots between the creature's existence and its significance. The lab's secretive work, now partially unveiled, shed light on the broader implications of their quest. While many questions remained, Harper and Jim now understood the creature's place within a much larger puzzle, its origins and perhaps its purpose inching closer to clarity. The sudden sound of footsteps approaching sent Harper and Jim into a silent panic. Scanning the room for a hiding spot, they spotted a closet and swiftly concealed themselves inside. The tight space forced them to stand close, barely daring to breathe. Outside, the footsteps grew louder, a clear sign of someone's imminent entrance into the lab. From their cramped hiding spot, Harper and Jim watched as a lab worker entered the room, completely oblivious to their presence. The worker moved with a routine familiarity, shedding light on the lab's daily operations. Harper and Jim exchanged worried glances, aware of their precarious situation, but intrigued by the opportunity to witness the lab's inner workings up close. The lab worker began his methodical preparation, underscoring the lab's active research efforts. He gathered various tools and specimens with precise movements, each action deliberate and practiced. Watching silently, Harper and Jim gained insight into the systematic nature of the research being conducted, the worker's routine painting a picture of a well-established scientific endeavour. Their observation from the closet was fraught with tension. Every sound seemed amplified in the silence, from the lab worker's footsteps to their own suppressed breaths. Harper and Jim remained motionless, keen not to alert the worker to their presence. The stakes of their clandestine observation were high, balancing their curiosity with the very real risk of discovery. The man's interaction with the creatures in the lab hinted at the scale of the operations. He moved between the enclosures with ease, feeding and examining each creature with a practiced eye. This care and attention to the specimens revealed a complex relationship between the researchers and their subjects, suggesting a deep investment in the outcomes of their studies and hinting at the broader implications of their work. Realizing the lab's true purpose, Harper and Jim seized the moment to flee, urgency propelling them forward. They navigated through the lab's maze-like structure, their previous observations now serving as a map to the exit. Once outside, they didn't pause to catch their breath, knowing too well the stakes of their discovery. The forest loomed before them, a temporary shield against the dangers they left behind. Once safely away, contacting the police marked their transition from mere witnesses to whistleblowers. They relayed everything, from the lab's secluded location to the shocking experiments and the creature they had first seen in the river. The urgency in their voices underscored the seriousness of their claim, setting in motion a response that would unveil the true extent of the lab's activities. The swift police response underscored the gravity of Harper and Jim's discovery. Officers descended on the lab, leading to the arrest of the lab worker and the initiation of a full-scale investigation. The scene was a flurry of activity, each action taken a step towards uncovering the truth. The lab, once a place of secret research, was now exposed to public scrutiny. Harper and Jim's revelation exposed the lab's unethical practices, including the genetic modification of river creatures. One of these modified beings had escaped into the river, confirming their initial encounter. This discovery not only validated their experience, but also highlighted the unforeseen consequences of tampering with nature. Their role in bringing these practices to light underscored the importance of vigilance and responsibility. Harper and Jim were publicly honoured for their courage and determination in uncovering the hidden lab. The ceremony was a modest affair, but the recognition from the community and the authorities made it a momentous occasion. They stood together, a bit awkward under the spotlight, yet proud of what they had accomplished. Their actions had not only exposed wrongdoing, but also protected the natural world they cherished. The story of the escaped creature captivated the public, sparking widespread debates on the ethics of genetic modification. News outlets and online forums buzzed with discussions, with people everywhere weighing in on the implications of such scientific endeavours. Harper and Jim's discovery had inadvertently opened a Pandora's box of moral and ethical questions, compelling society to confront the delicate balance between scientific advancement and natural preservation. Investigations into the threatening messages Harper and Jim received traced them back to the lab workers, who had attempted to deter the pair from discovering their secret. This revelation only added to the scandal, highlighting the lengths to which those involved were willing to go to keep their activities hidden. It underscored the dangers Harper and Jim had faced in their pursuit of the truth. The creatures found in the lab, including the one that had first led Harper and Jim to this journey, were relocated to sanctuaries dedicated to their well-being. These sanctuaries ensured that the creatures would live out their lives in environments designed to mimic their natural habitats as closely as possible. It was a small comfort, knowing that these beings were now safe from harm and exploitation. This final act of relocating the creatures closed a chapter full of mystery and danger, leaving Harper and Jim as recognised heroes. They had gone from curious onlookers to pivotal figures in a story that touched on the very essence of humanity's relationship with the natural world. As they stood together, reflecting on their journey, they knew that their lives had been irrevocably changed by the adventure they had embarked upon.